Introduction to Super Buddhism Part 2 Realization 8. After leaving the court, Siddhartha first left the remote Kapilavastu and continued his journey on foot to Rajagriha, the capital of Magadha, the most prosperous kingdom of the time. There, two famous spiritual gurus of the time, the sages Alara Kalama and Udraka Lamaputra, each with several hundred disciples, had established an ashram. In contrast to the remoteness of the country of Shaka, it was a bustling place, like a city, with many people coming and going, full of knowledge and a much higher level of culture. The king of Magadha was called King Bimbisara. And the Buddhist scriptures tell us that he was a highly intelligent man befitting the most powerful nation-state in what is now India at the time. He also had faith and great political power, and the kingdom was ruled by him. King Bimbisara was looking out of the window of his palace when he saw a very noble and resolute Shramana walking by. It was undoubtedly the newly ordained Siddhartha. His appearance was noble, yet calm and gallant, and he did not appear to be an ordinary person. King Bimbisara thought that he might be a well-known Shramana. As expected, King Bimbisara was impressed and ordered his retainers to politely welcome the Shramana to his palace. The king had the sharpness of sight to see that Siddhartha was no ordinary person. When Siddhartha was told that the famous King Bimbisara of Magadha had found him in a region that was unfamiliar to him and had asked to meet with him, he felt a sense of destiny and gladly followed his guide to the royal palace of Magadha. When Siddhartha entered the palace of Magadha, King Bimbisara immediately appeared and asked the ordained Shramana who he was. "I am Siddhartha Gautama of the Shaka tribe. I was ordained for a reason. I have just arrived in the capital of this country in search of a guru," Siddhartha answered. "Siddhartha Gautama of the family Shaka. Oh, aren't you from the royal family?" Siddhartha asked the king. Saying this, King Bimbisara suddenly remembered a rumor he had heard a long time ago and asked him, "Isn't that you, Lord Siddhartha, the crown prince of the Shaka tribe, who was prophesied by the deceased Asita hermit to become the king of this world, the Buddha?" The wise King Bimbisara clearly recalled the prophecy of Buddha's birth that he had once heard. Siddhartha nodded lightly and spoke of himself, his future goal as a Shramana, and said in closing, "I was ordained to discover why this universe came into being, where it is headed, and by what will." He clearly communicated his purpose to King Bimbisara. The king was amazed. He had never seen or heard of a monk who could so clearly explain his background, the reason for his ordination, and even the purpose of his ordination. King Bimbisara was delighted to host Shramana and felt an urge to keep him close to him. "Siddhartha, the crown prince, it is a great loss to this world for you to remain ordained as you are. I understand that it is very important for you to pursue the path of Buddha. But please, could you not follow the path of ordination and do work in this country?" King Bimbisara said. However, Siddhartha failed to respond. This was a clear sign of refusal. King Bimbisara pleaded and said, "I heard that the sage Asita once prophesied that you would take the path of the great king who would unify the world, as well as following the path of Buddha. I offer you half of this country. Please use your power to unify all India or even the whole world, and establish a wonderful paradise in this world by establishing law and enforcing them. Siddhartha maintained his silence. King Bimbisara realized it would be impolite to say anything further, and with a disappointed tone, though suppressing his desire to give up, he said, I see. Then, when you realize why this world came into being, where it is headed, with the very will of God, will you be the first to tell me the answer? Siddhartha smiled in reply, chatted with the king for a while, received his meal, and left the court. What a remarkable young man! What is Buddha exactly? Perhaps I may be able to hear from him the secret of the creation of the universe, which no one has ever been able to explain to me. Surely I will be able to hear the Buddha's teaching, which the hermit asceta regretted so much that he could not hear. I will have the best luck in this life, thought the king. With this in mind, he bid farewell to Siddhartha. Then he found himself spontaneously putting his hands together in prayer to Siddhartha and smiled wryly. It was not long before King Bimbisara heard that Siddhartha, who had already attained Samatha Vipassana, had visited both Alalakarama and Uttarakalamaputra, and with a short time had impressed them both so much, but he left again for divine enlightenment. On hearing this story, the king felt proud of his own superior human acumen and found himself trembling as the appearance of Buddha, predicted by the hermit asceta, became a reality. He murmured, Perhaps I may truly understand the world beyond the lifetime of a mortal man. Siddhartha left the small boat of the lesser vehicle behind and set off again on a new path to build the bigger boat that could guide and nurture many people. After departing the two gurus, Siddhartha entered into his much recounted 7-year asceticism. This was an attempt to take his physical body to the extreme in order to attain spiritual enlightenment. However, after the 7 years, Buddha Shakyamuni reflected on this period of extreme asceticism and realized that it had not been worthwhile. Subsequently, his body healed by Sujata's porridge, he looked for a place where he could calmly meditate. Siddhartha was now becoming aware by this time that through meditation alone, he would be able to achieve divine enlightenment. At first, he climbed a mountain called Mount Pragbodhi and tried to attain enlightenment in its cave. But the god of that mountain appeared to him and said, There are very few who can withstand the event of the Buddha attaining enlightenment. And the god recommended to Siddhartha that he should attain ultimate enlightenment elsewhere. Finally, following this, Siddhartha was to attain enlightenment under a large Bodhi tree on the bank of the Niranjan River in the land now known as Bodh Gaya.